Venice, California, the iconic beach that sits right on top of LA, known for its unique atmosphere. But what's it like living here? In a bus. Today I'm going to show you what it's like to live in the streets of Venice in 2024, inside this fully converted bus. And for those who don't know, I'm 23 years old and I've been traveling full time in this bus, traveling across the country. I've been traveling for about 3 to 4 months now. Started all the way back in New Jersey, hit about 20 different states, and now we landed in California. But although Venice has always been on the top of my list for places to see in California, even before we started traveling, Venice has always been a symbol of freedom, creativity, and just an unconventional type of lifestyle. I mean, take Muscle Beach, for example. In the 1970s, Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is one of the most well-known bodybuilders of all time, turned this place into the mecca of bodybuilding. And as you can tell, it's still going strong today. Or you can look at Venice Beach as the skateboarding mecca of the world. This city alone revolutionized the sport in the 1970s, and it's also where skateboarding culture took off. From amateurs to pros, the Venice Beach Skate Park is now a world-famous hub for skaters. And then there's the art. Venice has become a playground for street artists and graffiti legends, legally. Yes, I said legally. You can spray paint here as much as you want. The Venice art walls are constantly being changed with new murals and just turning this place into a living, breathing canvas. And lastly, Venice Beach is known for the iconic backdrop of multiple movies. You got White Man Can't Jump, you have Baywatch back in the 2000s, and even a couple scenes from Barbie. And after traveling for about 3 months, visiting different cities and just different states all around the country, the biggest key differentiator that I see from Venice compared to other cities is that they work around the community, not vice versa. A lot of the times, cities and states, they try to make ordinances, they try to make certain laws to benefit the city rather than benefit the community. And Venice is the complete opposite of that. Venice takes care of the community and looks out for the community and adapts to the community. I mean, think about it. What city restructures, rehabs, and takes care of skateboarding areas and allows you to spray paint legally and also to live a type of lifestyle like this? Like, look at these guys. These guys are just hanging out. And the biggest thing with Venice is that they let you live the type of lifestyle that you want to live freely. Not the opposite, where you have to live up to the city's expectations. And that right there is a city that knows what it's doing. Get a small little volley going, just warm up. So we've been living in Venice for about 2 weeks now, and it's been pretty awesome. But I would be lying to you if I said that it was always beautiful. Living in a bus in Venice definitely has its challenges too. Sorry. So living in a bus has its challenges. And living in Venice Beach for about 2 weeks, there's also been some real challenges overall in just California as a whole. And the biggest challenge of living in Venice is parking. And as you can tell, we stick out like a sore thumb. To be honest with you, finding parking is pretty hard in Venice, specifically because it's a pretty small area, and especially on the weekends, it gets pretty packed. I mean, this place is a tourist attraction. Although I've been living here for 2 weeks, I guess I'm still a tourist, so. Finding parking here is really, really difficult. I mean, there's a bunch of signs of 2-hour parking, 1-hour parking. There is multiple signs out there that say if you're over 22 feet in length and over 7 feet tall, then you cannot park here. Simple as that. So the city has been really cranking down on people like us living in their vehicles, especially to the size that we are. And if you can't tell, our bus is pretty wide. It's actually 22 feet on the dot. But our bus is over 10 feet high, which puts us 3 feet over the limit. And now that's easily one of the biggest cons of living in a bus, especially in Venice, where you have to essentially plan and organize where you're going to stay every single night. But at the end of the day, it's learning to adapt with the situations that you're given and trying to make things work at all times. And that comes with living in a bus. And to be honest with you, it's also kind of the fun part too, because you're constantly thinking about solutions and problem solving. And even if problem solving is moving the bus every couple hours just to avoid a ticket. Something that I've always said even before traveling, and something that I think I said in one of my previous videos, but California is the mecca of living on the road, or the mecca of living in a bus or a van. California is huge. I mean, I think it's the third biggest state behind, I think it goes Alaska's first, and then Texas is second, and California's third. I'm not sure, but California is a huge state. And although there's the gas prices, the taxes, and the crappy drivers in California, which is probably another video that I can make, California is beautiful. You got the palm trees, you got the beautiful views, you got the beaches, and it's just an overall great state. And I don't really know how else to really explain it. I don't know if it's just a West Coast thing or a California thing, but in Oregon and California so far on the West Coast, the vibe is it's just different over here. Everyone just seems to be in a good mood, and also just fit too. Everyone's just walking around always, running, biking, roller skating, skateboarding, longboarding. I mean, surfing. I mean, you think about it, there's so many things to do here, and I guess that's why everyone's just so happy. And I mean, how could you not feel like that? California feels like paradise all the time. With that being said, you can't have a day in California without going to the beach. You know, one of the best parts about living on the road is that you can live anywhere. You can live on a beach like this, you can live in the mountaintops, or you can live in Walmart parking lots, which always isn't ideal, but my favorite destination is on the beach. And I've been to multiple different beaches so far during this trip, which is awesome, but something about California beaches are just unmatched. I can't get over it. Living in Venice Beach for the past 2 weeks has just been a wild experience, not only because it's one of our bigger bucket list items, but also because it just goes to show how far we've actually came in terms of just traveling. I mean, we've been traveling for about 3 to 4 months now, and I can't believe it's been about a quarter of a year, first of all. Second of all, we traveled over 7,000 different miles, starting all the way back from New Jersey, and now we're in California. And this is going to be kind of crazy to say, but we've been in California for about a month now, and for this entire trip, we've just been traveling from state to state to state every single weekend. I mean, you can only imagine how many hours and hours and hours we drove when it comes to seeing 20 different states in 3 months. You know, we've been in California for a while, and we don't really plan on leaving anytime soon. And I don't really have any regrets so far with this trip, but if there is one thing that I could change, it would be to just, you know, be in the state just a little bit longer than where we were, instead of every weekend after weekend after weekend, because each state has so much to offer, whether that be the national parks, the cities, the hot springs, and the hidden gems, and just so much more. So although it's so easy to dwell on the negatives, the positives always outweigh the negatives, especially in a city like this in Venice Beach. And look, it's not always easy living in a bus, and it definitely has its challenges from time to time, but when you come to a city like this in California, it's really hard to complain. So if I could write a love letter to Venice, it would be, I love you, you've lived up to all of my expectations tenfold, and my experiences here, living here for the past 2 weeks, have been something that I will forever hold close to my heart, and it's something that I'll never take for granted. With that being said, please change up the parking size limits so that, you know, I can stay here a couple more nights without, you know, getting a couple tickets. But other than that, I love you. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.